This was not too long after I got cut.
Yeah.
So I was still following things pretty closely. And, you know, I knew all about Franco Harris and those guys because they came a year after I got cut. And when I got cut, I got cut, I had a cup of coffee with them, basically.
Yeah.
That's about it. But, yeah, so I was still, you know, sitting in the bar with my buddies watching these games.
Yeah.
And glad I wasn't playing at that point.
Yeah,
know?
but you had to be vested because you got drafted with Mean Joe Green. You got drafted with a lot of these Pro Football Hall of Famers. And so you got to enjoy – I mean, it was Chuck Noll's first year, right?
It was Noll's first year.
And so you got to – you had his first training camp, and you got to know these people. So you get vested because you have relationships with these guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it was very intense. You know, you've been to those camps. I mean, I didn't make a whole lot of friends. It was
job.
Yes,
Try to make the team.
But it was fun. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As opposed to college. I mean, I you know, I don't know why you would think it would be the opposite, but I actually enjoyed the training down there.
Yeah, you know, what people don't realize, because I was a very similar situation as you. You were a priority free agent, so they signed you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was a 7th-round draft pick, which is the last round of our draft, which some would argue it's better to be a free agent because you get 2 years contract instead of locking you in for a third.
And you were a quarterback.
I was a quarterback.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect when you're on the team and there's 90 guys, they got to cut it down to 53. Yeah. And you're did you used to play the numbers game? You're sitting in training camp. Well, they're going to keep this guy. They're going to keep that guy.
Yeah. I had a situation where, you know, I don't know if yours was the same as ours, but the Steelers. They would put a board up, and if your name wasn't on it, you were cut.
Oh.
So it's kind of a nice way to do it. You know, your name, you don't see your name as this guy got cut. You know, people don't know you. They don't even know you got cut.
Ed, it's completely changed nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you'll be sitting in a locker room, and they have this guy who everyone calls the Turk. It's probably like he's like an offensive assistant of another assistant. Yeah. And he comes up to your locker, and he taps on your shoulder, and he says, "Hey, head coach wants to see you bring your playbook."
Oh, no, I had that.
Oh,
see, they went through when it started out.
Okay.
They had so many guys.
Yeah.
That they cut the way I just mentioned. But then if you got along some, then it turned into, oh, by the way, Coach Snow would like to see you in his office. I'd bring your playbook. That's what happened to me.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but then you know how nice they are to you when you go in there.
You know, we're going a different route. You know, you're just not in the plan. Yeah.
Well, with me, it was, well, you never played outside linebacker, and you're trying to make the team and learn the position at the same time. That's hard to do. I said, yeah. He said, well, I think I remember it as well, you can go to the Eagles if you want to, and they'll give you a good look. We'll rent a car for you. You can drive down the PA Pike. But I need to know right now. And I don't know what happened to my thinking. It was like, you're going to what? I want to drive a car to Philadelphia? No. I said, I'm done. I'm finished. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
That was it. But I was getting sick of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I played for 2 colleges. I had some knee problems. And I don't know what it was. I didn't even like coaches much. You know, I liked Noel. He was I didn't get to know him much, but he was a real gentleman, and I thought he was a nice guy. He was. But I had coaches in college I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
In high school, too. I had to start thinking maybe it was my fault. It was to that point. Gee. But I was finished. I said, he said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but not this. Hey. And then I remember when I went to my back to the dorm room, I had a roommate. His name was Clarence Oliver, San Diego State. He made the team as a defensive back. And I think he only played 1 year. I think he broke his back.
Ooh.
But he made it. But I went in, and he was like, what happened? I said, what do you think? So I was packing up, and the guy came in. You know, they said, well, the car's out there. Where do you want to go? And I said, Pittsburgh. I'm not from Pittsburgh. And but I knew a friend in Pittsburgh. So I said, no, I'm going to Pittsburgh. And he says, okay, we'll drive you to Pittsburgh. You know, it's Latrobe, PA. So he said, we'll swing by the stadium on the way out because your cleats are there in the locker. And we got a lot of swag for you. We got great jerseys and T-shirts and hats and shorts. And I said, I don't want any of that shit. He said, you don't want it's good stuff? I don't want it. Am I going to wear it? I'm not wearing it. I don't want the cleats either. I'm not going to use them anymore. So he took me into Pittsburgh, and I had this rudimentary idea of where my friend lived. So I didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Was what it was. So I directed
Why didn't you want to
them-
go home?
that was all screwed up. I thought, I don't want to go home and have to explain this.
100%.
So I said, it was still in the summertime. So I directed him up a street, and I saw a bar. It was a local bar with the door open. In the summertime, the door's no air, the door was open. I said, right here. My friend lives right around that bar. Just drop me off here. You sure? They kind of said, yeah, give me the bag. And adios. So I went in the bar, and it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And there were like a couple of, locals. It was a local joint.
Yeah, yeah.
So I walk in. I'm 23 years old. They don't know me. I'm a stranger in this neighborhood. And they're looking like, what's this kid? I order a beer, and they got the TV up high, on the wall. And we're watching it, and the news comes on, and they're showing Armstrong walking on the moon.
Wow.
That's when I got cut. And I'm thinking, well, somebody had a good day. He had the golf club, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. And then they went to the sports. And, of course, it's Pittsburgh. So they go, linebacker Ed O'Neill released today from the Steelers, and there's my picture. And these guys are in the bar, and they look. They go, you're Ed O'Neill. I said, yeah. And they said, your money's no good here. Now they're all buying me drinks. I end up at 3:00 in the morning in some car with some girl with a state hoopie pulling me over,
Yeah.
I don't even know my name at this point. And the guy looks in, and I think I had my shirt off, and, I was almost naked.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, though. And he says, I had my driver's license. He said, did you get cut today from Pittsburgh? I said, yep. He said, miss, can you drive? She said, yeah. He's just driving around. And he said, can you drive this guy home? And she said, I'll take him. He says he knows somebody. And he said, letting him go. Because it was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they love them Steelers.
Even if you got cut, it doesn't make any difference.
You're still
right?
part of the team. You're
know.
still part of the team.
Anyway, that's I don't think I've told that story ever.
So you were a defensive lineman in college?
I played
Handsome Joker. Look
middle
at him.
guard on defense.
Okay.
And I played defensive end, and I played tight end in college.
Okay.
I just went around like that.
So what was you said that you mentioned you were playing outside linebacker in Steelers camp. What was
Well, that's
that?
all you got. That's all they had for me. I couldn't be a cornerback. I wasn't quick enough. I mean, I ran a 4.740
Wow.
in '68. That's my number though. But I was
That's fast.
I was about 230,
4.7,
4.7. Then
230. That's like a 260 guy running 4.6 now.
probably, and then I didn't.
But you guys
know-
didn't train for it. Like that
No.
was that was fast then.
I don't know.
You
if
only
I
had a
knew-
couple 4.4 guys on the team.
Well, when I did, I narrated the thing on Peyton Manning. That timeline, and it was so nicely written. I was
Yeah.
very impressed with it. And this was not long ago, and I was struck by the fact that he was coached, and you were too, right? Your dad was a coach.
My dad was a coach.
And I was never coached. I don't think I was really ever coached. We just played pickup ball, and when we went to high school, there was coaches there, but it's a long story. They didn't really coach me.
Yeah.
It was just, my whole idea was knock the shit out of you, and I'll progress. So it wasn't the best way to learn football.
The game has changed now
Well, now
because
it's
that used to be the ultimate
Yeah.
equalizer
Yeah.
of the guy who
Even
made,
then, it didn't work right. Even then, it didn't work right because you could hit a guy like on a reverse. Say they run it around and you're in and you got a clean shot.
Yeah.
And instead of tackling him, I would hit him with a forearm.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes they wouldn't go down. They'd spin and keep going.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was like that. It was like kamikaze football.
Well, you would have been a great special teamer.
Probably.